Welcome, Swagatham, and Nanuta with me to yet another wonderful, lovely meeting, 40th meeting of Showstoppers. A very, very warm good evening to all of you out there, all our vibracious crowd out there. So, as usual, all the alternate Mondays, I go to Google. Of course, we have to show off here. We need something, anecdote, some quotes here. So I've got one for today. It goes. Written it down here. Do not set out to be great leaders. It's to make a difference. Their focus is not on the. The focus is not on the role, but focus is on the goal. So, are you ready to lead? I heard we have a lot of exciting talks coming up for our meeting today. So let's get started by our club mission. Just give me a second. Today's our 40th meeting. Let's start our club mission. All of you go ahead, place your hands on the chest and repeat it after me. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutual and supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. The core values, of course, that we follow here are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. As we all know, we cannot go forward without our online meeting etiquettes. So let's start off by the three taboo topics, which is sex, politics, and religion. Also, it would be nice if everybody could keep their mobile on silent and be generous with your claps before and after a performance so that it boosts people who are coming on stage. Also, it wakes up people who's already fallen asleep. Place the camera at an eye level so that the neck doesn't have a problem, the eyes doesn't have a problem. Look directly on the camera. Keep yourself on mute. Always be generous with thumbs ups and clap icons. Also, we are live on Facebook, so if anybody's uncomfortable, go ahead, and we're recording the video. So if anybody's uncomfortable, go ahead and switch off your cameras, but be sure to be with us. Do not sleep, do not go to the kitchen. That's it for our online meeting etiquettes. And I've written it down again. This brings us to an extremely special and honorable handover to the next agenda, which is the presidential address. Today is the first meeting of this diva as the president, but trust me, she's shown her leadership skills and her perfectionism from day one, braving through her vulnerabilities and marking her and showing her marked presence wherever she goes, and never forgetting to be our back support whenever we ask her to. This boss lady, has rightfully owned her position as our new president, whether she knows it or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the ever loving, the ever smiling, the ever gracious Amita, Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Natasha. That was so wonderful to hear. All right. Yes, indeed. It is my very first speech as the president of this club, and I'm honored. It was a plain Jane morning, and my friend Surbhi visits me at my home. I was asking her to come in for a good hot cup of Indian masala chai. And she was like, hurry up, you have to come with me. Where, what? No time to answer. Just follow me, was the order, and I trusted her. There I was, at a residence where not one or two, but 16 energetic, talented, pretty ladies gathered. No, no, not for a kitty party, but to break their fears of expressing, learning, and adding words to thought. Yes, that was the first Toastmasters demo session that I had attended. And from then till now, there has been no looking back. A very splendid good morning to all the guests, dignitaries, and my fellow Toastmasters. My dear friends, the Showstoppers Toastmaster Club is not just another Toastmaster club. It is that magnetic hub where talents of highly learned and motivated women converge. A club that was charted from 11 demo meetings, hand-picking every member, and not to forget, these powerful ladies went ahead to embrace the prominent visibility in public relations, contests, debates, you name it, and we were there ever since the time we came into being, that is December 2019. Today, I stand as the proud president elect to give a shape to each and every member's ambition in the world of public speaking, to give them a form to each and every member's thoughts and help them develop their personalities in their own way. This meeting is a shout out to all those ladies and the men too who want their beautiful ladies to have a forum to express, a friend to talk, and a stage to shine. Come, join us. The showstoppers are waiting to embrace you. On behalf of my club, the Showstoppers Toastmaster Club, I welcome and acknowledge the presence of all the servant leaders, my fellow Toastmasters from different areas and divisions. A warm welcome to all the guests, too. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, you are investing your time in the right place this evening. With the power vested in me as the president of the Showstoppers Toastmasters Club, I, Toastmaster Amita, declare this meeting number 40 open. As I don't have the gavel with me, I will open it with a bang, a clap. Okay, I shall step aside for some time to let our immediate past president and the VP membership for the year 2021 give us a new word, as is the protocol of Toastmaster. The word master of the day, none other than the vivacious Toastmaster Tina. Toastmaster Tina.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, the darling, dearest, newest president, nascent president, Toastmaster Amita. Um, thank you so much for the warm welcome. And it's just wonderful to see that, I have a great following, and it's wonderful to see so many beautiful faces here. Of course, many of the videos are switched off. It's quite sad. But, anyways, it's wonderful having all of you here with us at the Showstoppers. It's always a delight to have new people around with us. Has is about learning something. Toastmasters is all about education, is all about learning something new. So we have this task of learning a new word. So let me just start by sharing my screen. Okay, hold on. I'm assuming I'm visible and audible.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so word of the day. So I was thinking, why think of a word, but let's have an idiom for today. And the idiom is get a wriggle on. Can anybody think or try to guess what could that mean? Get a wriggle on. You can unmute yourself and try to guess.
Is it something like hurry up? I'm just guessing.
Yeah, who is that? Can I have the name too?
Raji.
Hi, Idiraji.
Hi.
Yes, you're right. Actually, it is
All
getting
right.
a wriggle on. To get a wriggle on, or
Oh,
we will miss the start of the movie. So it basically means to hurry up. That's what to get a wriggle on means. Some of the similar words to this is to step on it, get a move on, get the lead out, look smart, stir one stump, snap into it, get a hump on, dot spare the horses, and so forth. So what we see two versions of this. We see get a wriggle on and we also see get a wiggle on. So what's the difference? Or is it actually the same? Ladies, it's just the same. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all just the same. What the difference is basically the geographical location. If you're saying get a wriggle on, you're speaking from United Kingdom. If you say get a wiggle on, you're actually speaking from the United States. So the battle of the English, British English and American English goes on. So that's just
And
basically the
Srinath, if we
difference.
say hurry up, we are talking from India.
Pardon?
If we say hurry up, are we talking from India?
Yeah, it could be. Jaldi, jaldi. Or from where I am. Vegam, pettan, pettan. So basically, that's what it means. To put it into a few sentences, ladies, get a wiggle on to finish your projects. A triple crown awaits you. I better get a wiggle on and conclude before the timer shows red. The cops are coming, Johnny. Get a wiggle on before they catch up. That's actually a movie dialogue, but this is what it's something that you can always use both in your daily language and also as a colloquial way. But it's just a fun word, fun play on word, and I think it's something that we can all use because that's what the today's generation is all about. We are all getting a wiggle on to reach somewhere in our life. So now it's your turn. If you can, if Madam President, do we have the time to give the platform to our guests to try
Yes,
it
you
out?
can
Or
have a few. Yeah, you can take up 3 to 4.
great. So then, could we have a few words or sentences from the audience?
Come on, wriggle on, ladies and gentlemen, with your words and statements.
Okay, I can go one. Okay, it may not be a good idea to get a wiggle on everywhere. One such area is eating. It's a just mindful eating and not a wiggle on.
Rightfully said and accepted. Yes. Anyone else?
Can I go? This is
Sure,
Charmaine.
definitely.
Charmaine. The traffic on the road, get a wiggle on and move on. Please, we got to reach office quickly.
Yes. The daily stories of every mornings.
Yep.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharmaine. Yes, I can see Toastmaster Vijaya put her answer. Yeah. You're muted, ma'am.
Your presentation is there, so I can't see anybody. So
I'm so sorry. I will unshare it.
let me let me wiggle on about why we cannot wiggle on when you are climbing on something.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vijay. I think we have Toastmaster Amar.
Yes, hi, good evening. Men these days are giving tough competition to women in terms of makeup and spending a lot of time in getting ready before they leave to parties. So it's the turn of the wives nowadays to tell the husbands, please wiggle on and get ready faster.
Super. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amar. Yeah, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Yes, Tina. We need to wiggle on in vaccinating people around the world.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rosma
Thank
Sasridevi.
you.
Anyone else? Otherwise, if not, I will pass on the platform to Madam President. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a wiggle on and go on with the rest of the meeting. Please do try to use the idiom in today's meeting and also in your daily life. Great. Nice. Great talking to you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tina. That was wonderful. I better get a wiggle on and make you all open your eyes to the rainbow of the evening. Rainbow? Yeah, you heard me right. It is so good to talk about rainbow and the rains in this hot season which is there outside. What do I say about this rainbow? She is a seamless mix of 7 vibrant colors: power, grit, creativity, humility, honesty, passion, and service. A lady who won accolades twice at the Toastmasters International Conventions in the year 2016 and 2017. The lady who enticed the whole audience by her powerful speeches on the Toastmasters World Champion public speaking stage. Today, she is here with us to talk to us, to help us introspect if we are ready to lead. Help me welcome with thunderous applause the one and only Toastmaster Keshika Rodrigo.
Thank you so much. Am I audible and visible at the same time?
Yes.
All right. Cool. So I see a lot of participants. I'm guessing we have about 27 participants. I was assuming I'll have about 10 or 15, but I guess uh, we've outdone ourselves and we've gotten about 30 of us into this platform. So it's wonderful to meet all of you at Showstoppers Toastmasters. I hope I said that right. So when I was approached to sort of speak to the Toastmaster audience, the first thing that I try to say is, no, I have office work, which is quite true. I still haven't finished my work for the day. I haven't really clocked off. I just went, took a wash, changed because I've got to be presentable and it's not like office hours. But yeah, after this, right after this, I'll be getting back to work. So the first thing that, when any Toastmaster asks me to come speak to their audience, their Toastmaster clubs, the first thing I say is, no, I'm sorry, I really can't commit the time. I can't be sure. But there was this one introduction made by one of your Toastmasters who approached me. She said a dozen things, she said a tons of things saying, like, it's so good to meet you online as a blah, blah, blah. Everything's like blah for me. But she also said this one line, there is this club full of powerful ladies that you really need to come talk to. And that was the one line that caught me. And I said, my reply was, sure, when, what time? And now that I have joined here, I realize, wow, the amount of energy you guys have. I mean, some of them have profile pictures with big smiles. I wish I could see their, smiles on video. But like, God, like, where do you guys come from? Like, all of you so pretty. Oh, Nayana is like fixing her hair. And Tina is smiling away, and I have like the Zoom master, all teeth. I see some amazing profiles, and it just makes me smile in return to look at you guys for the amount of energy that you guys exude. So the first thing that I thought I must share is a little story. Story is actually more digestible than any of the presentations that we make on any platform, be it corporate or just life alone. Just stories are so much more simpler, and it's just digestible, and like people like to listen, you know. So I'll just tell you a summary of my Toastmaster journey, right? No, I swear to God, it's not going to be boring. I'll make it interesting. I'll try to make you laugh. Don't be hard on me. So my Toastmaster journey started off as pretty much like an underdog. You know, I never knew what Toastmasters was. So technically, how I came to be is that I joined Etisalat, which is a telco. You might be knowing from Dubai. We do have a part of it in Sri Lanka as well. So I started there my internship, and I was going on. And in the year 2013, my dad was diagnosed with hepatocellular carcinoma in the month of February, and in the month of October, he passed away. So that was the time span that we had at hand to sort of digest the news and his loss at the same time. So the moment he passed away, for about good 3 months, I was autopilot. I was just running the way I was just doing stuff. I wasn't really thinking about anything, right? Somewhere in January, somewhere in December, actually, one of the Toastmasters said, Keshika, like, why don't you join Toastmasters? It'll help you craft your speaking ability, and you'll be a lot more confident and all of that. So I was like, yeah, okay. But the whole reason why I joined Toastmasters was because I had a lot of time in hand. Usually my time is entirely spent with my dad. So, technically I would just go home, and we used to watch the cricket matches, and we used to walk the streets, go to church in the morning at 5:30. When the cricket, I don't know if you guys would relate with this, but we used to have those antennas for the TVs. Oh, lots of people are nodding their head. Okay, it's not a Sri Lankan thing then. So my dad used to tune the TV to the cricket match, right? And he would just send me up to the roof to fix the antenna, right? So my mom is like this very traditional kind of lady, right? My grandmother is South Indian, so you get the vibe, right? Like none of the girls are supposed to climb walls and roofs and all of that. So every time my father sends me up, he just be like, "What are you doing? What will people think?" He's like, "Hey, nobody's there in the roof. All of your people who you worry about is just eye level. Nobody's up there. So let her go." So like I technically never wore like skirts and dresses and all. It was always shorts and pants and all of that. So the kind of dad that I had is pretty much the dad that everybody sort of adores. The one that never saw me like a girl, the one that never thought that I couldn't do anything just because I was a girl. More often, he thought that everything was possible because I was a girl. And so, like, losing my dad, that amount of time that I had in my life was just suddenly it came to a stop. Like I didn't have anyone to feel that. I mean, I did have my boyfriend back then, but then it's not as same as that bond that you share with your dad. And like every time I turn around, I see his empty chair, I see the clothesline without his shirts, I see the plate on the rack, his plate is just there, everything is just there. Like life started pausing for me. And that's when I thought, maybe I'm thinking too much and I have a lot of time to spend. So I thought I'll join Toastmasters. So the moment I joined Toastmasters, the first day they said, we're not going to force you. Toastmasters is very kind in that way. They don't force you to talk and all of that. So I found this, I found this very surprising because, the first thing that they do in schools is, whether you like it or not, you've got to come to the front, say something. And that's so traumatizing that the children never want to go and talk again in their lives, But one good thing about Toastmasters, what I noticed was, like nobody was forcing me. And then they said, if you're stuttering, stammering, that's okay. Don't talk. It's okay. You can observe for like 3 to 4 meetings. I said, oh, wow. So you give free food and you also don't want me to do anything. That was like the ideal combination that I wanted in my life, So I would just go and, like watch people. And I thought, you know what, let's just talk. So I gave a speech on about myself, right? The first project is about myself. The CC1 is about myself. So I went and spoke, this is the same way I went and spoke up there. And, like everybody got up and clapped and everything. They gave a standing ovation. So from where I come from, a standing ovation is always given to the person who performs the best, right? There's a meaning to it. And if you are getting it, that means it's a big deal. That, at least that's how I perceived it. And, I got the standing ovation, and I'm coming and I'm sitting back in my seat and I'm looking at everyone, I'm like nodding. I'm very humble about this opportunity. And then I looked at my neighbor, who is also one of my colleagues, and I said, dude, I got a standing ovation. They're like, yeah, they give that for everybody's first speech. I said, so yeah, that's how my colleague bursted my bubble. So that's when I realized, Toastmaster is a space that, sort of incubates anyone and everyone, irrespective of what standard you come from. They incubate you in the same level. So starting from that point, I started, delivering speeches without scripts. And, I was the rebellious kind, I was the kind of Toastmaster that the club president would fear. I was the kind of Toastmaster the VP education would fear, because I had no script, no? So every time I go for a competition, or every time I go and present my speech, it's always a new version. The entire club is surprised because they've never heard it before. I always switch it, I twist it around, I change the characters, I change the dialogues, I change the words, I change the emphasis, I change the accents, sometimes it's Japanese, sometimes it's British. So I would have fun. And for me, the fun is not about, communicating to the audience. It's about looking at that fear in my club president's face, that is the joy for me, that guy goes like, that's it, like that guy loses it. And at the end of it, somehow, obviously that's how it came to be. I won a couple of contests, and I went up to Washington. So the journey to Washington also is a pretty cool one. I told my mom I joined this Toastmaster club. So the moment the word club is at the back of it, she immediately thinks that, this is about short skirts and booze and all of that. She's like, what club? What club? No, our girls are not going into clubs. No. Keshika, just because your father is not there, don't think you can fool me. What is this club? I said, no, Amma, it's about a club where people talk. Yeah. I know all of these clubs only. That's how they start. First they'll talk, then, you'll have unnecessary problems coming in. You don't have to go for these clubs. So I had to convince her, and I had to show her videos. I had to show her recordings. I had to show her certificates. At one point, she thought that I was actually printing them and bringing them home. That's how much of faith my mom had in me. And so every time I used to win, they used to give me these little trophies and stuff to take home. Yeah. So, my mom was all cool until I said that, so Sri Lanka is a combination of, District 82 is actually a combination of South India and Sri Lanka. So at one point I had to go to India, to South India, to Chennai, to participate in the finals in the district level. And, it was a nightmare to get my mom, to convince her to say that, Ma, I have gotten selected. She's like, how can you go? No, I can't send, at least, I need to then put a ticket and come with you. I said, okay, come, I'll get you a ticket. You can be in the hotel room or something. So somehow I managed to get to India. And that's when they told me that I had won my pass to Washington, D.C. Now, amidst the joy of, winning this whole thing, as my mom's daughter, the first question is, oh shit, how am I going to tell Amma? Because she was so reluctant in sending me to India itself. I mean, that's neighboring country. It's just 1 hour's travel. So I called mom and I said, Mom, I won. And she's like, okay, good. What time are you leaving? That's the first question. Whether you win, congratulations, that and all later we'll see. What time are you leaving India? What time are you coming to Sri Lanka? That's the question. So I said, I'll be leaving now, Ma. But only thing is, they want me to go to USA. And she's like, where? USA, Ma, America. America. You want me to send an unmarried girl all the way to America for this what? For this club nonsense. I'm not sending you. Very sorry. I said, Ma, but it's 1 in a million chance, Ma. Nobody sort of gets to go, and like I can get all the club president. I don't care who the club president is. They can just take their own children and go. Not you. I am not sending you. End of story. Don't argue like this with Amma. I am getting pressure. Her line is, I'm getting pressure. So that is like the closing line. The moment she says that, you can't say anything beyond that. You have to stop. That's the forced stop. So I get to Sri Lanka. I try to convince her. I get a couple of Toastmasters to talk to her, and she's like, so her problem is, she thinks that, to go to America, you need to be married. So she was actually considering the fact that I need to be married in 2 weeks' time so that I can go to America. She forgot the fact that you only need a visa. So yeah, so those were the challenges when it came to me, my mom, and Toastmasters and all of that. But it was fun. It was fun. It was. I mean, I look back at it now and I'm just laughing. But back then it was very stressful. But I went there, with all of these fun facts, and I was having so much of. I was so irresponsible. When you get a free ticket to America, you're not going to think, oh, I must win this. No, that's bullshit. Nobody wants to win a contest when you get a free ticket to America. The first thing you want to do is you want to shop. You want to go places. You want to see places. You want to see buildings. You want to see the black people. You want to see the white people. You don't want to see your people. Those are the kind of objectives that you have when you travel abroad. And I honestly didn't want anything to do with Toastmasters. Like, I was forced to do that bit, and I was just waiting for that to end. So I did my semifinals. I got through semifinals. I went into finals and all of that. When I went into finals, I gave a very half-hearted speech. To date, I don't regret it because that was what was genuinely inside me. So I just gave a half-hearted speech, and I got down from the stage, and I was just chilling there, trying to see, what Wi-Fi locations are close by. The first thing you want to do as an Asian is to connect to free Wi-Fi everywhere possible, right? So I'm connecting, like, now all of the other people are so nervous about the speech. I'm trying to connect to all the Wi-Fi spots, the free water bottles, the Asian culture and the Asian mindset. So after a point of time, they announced the speakers, Darren Tavon, Josephine Lee, and I think it was Aaron Beverly. Yeah, I think so. So these were the guys who won it, right? And the entire session is coming to an end. It's a big do. It was an audience of 2,000 from people from 135 countries, an audience of 2,000, all fair people, nothing like you. So it's very intimidating. So I'm just chilling there. I'm like this little brown girl who has nothing to do with the speeches and just seated there. And I see this audience of 2,000 actually split into 10. And people just keep walking towards each of us speakers, right? And, some of them are just congratulating, some of them are kissing your palm. And, like some of them are saying, well done, thank you. And, all of that was overwhelming for me. I'm not a superstar. I'm not used to this, so I'm just like, every time they thank me, I'm trying to bend twice as much and say thank you as well. But after a point of time, I noticed that there was a pattern. There was a gentleman who walked up to me and said, I am an entrepreneur who lost 6 times, which means he lost his business 6 times. And today I am going to start my business once again. I'm going back to square one, to the drawing board, to start my business once again, just because of your speech. And that's when I felt extremely responsible for the words I uttered up there. Very responsibly, though. And I honestly wanted to say, like, please don't take my advice. I wasn't thinking too much, but then it was too late. I had already said the kind of words that I should have said that actually inspired someone to start their business for the 7th time. It's not the 2nd time, it's the 7th time. That shows that means something. And then I had another Toastmaster who walked up to me and let go of his crutches. And he said, I don't know who the champion is. But to me, you spoke to me. You spoke about differently able people. And for me, you are the champion. And that's the second time I felt responsible for the set of words that I uttered. I had a lady who walked up to me and said, "Ma'am, would you please sign my daughter's storybook?" And I said, it wasn't me who won the second place. It was Josephine Lee. She's got eyes like this. She's over there. She's Korean. She said, no, I want you to sign my daughter's storybook, because one day when my daughter is, on a stage as this, I want her to speak the way you spoke. Exactly like you, the confidence, the way you, capture the audience, the words you use, the passion you had in your eyes. I want her to speak the way you spoke. And I signed her daughter's storybook. And there was another Toastmaster she's been in Toastmasters for almost 40 to 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. And she said, I've been to so many conventions, I've seen so many Toastmasters speak, but you, my dear, you're something special. You said something that actually made a difference in my mind and my heart. And these are the 4 distinct stories that I remember out of the ones who reached out to me. And that's when I told myself, I will never get on another stage just for the fun of it. First I thought it was 7 minutes of fun and fame. But then when I got down from the stage, I realized it's a bigger responsibility. And to date, I have so many Toastmasters who reach out to me and say, can you coach me? I want to be a really good speaker. And the first question I ask is, and do what? And they're like, no, I want to start a business. And I'm like, yeah, sure. That's one way to look at it. But what else are you planning to do with it? What are you going to use your talent of speaking? The gift of the gab, what are you going to use it for? Is it just because you want to be a motivational speaker? Is it because you want to be a speech therapist? Or is it because you want to be a coach, a trainer? There are different names for this business. Is it just that, or do you have a higher purpose? And every time I ask this question, it's only a very few Toastmasters who come up to me and say, yes, I want to do something more than just earn money out of it. And for me, it's so difficult to think that people are assuming that Toastmasters is all about, us individually speaking to an audience. It's not. The moment you have your grammar right, your grammar doesn't have to be right. Your grammar has only 5 points. Correct me if I'm wrong. So technically, your focus is on your body language and your expressions and your structure and all of that. The reason is because you can do a lot with just that and without grammar. So with the structure of a Toastmaster speech, you don't necessarily have to have a brilliant, grammatically correct speech. All you need to do is have a speech that is coming from your heart. That's okay if you don't have grammar in that. It's okay if you don't have your language so rich. It's okay if your language is poor and if your grammar is all over the place. As long as you can reach an audience, as long as you can talk to their hearts, I think you are more of a Toastmaster than any one of us. So every time, somebody comes up to me and says, oh no, but I don't have fancy words. I say, you don't need fancy words. I'm not confident with grammar. I say, you don't have to be confident with grammar. Do you have a story? Do you have a story that will change your life, that will inspire someone, that will inform someone? Just go ahead. As long as you're not saying the wrong thing, you can still speak to an audience. And that's when I realized that every time I speak to an audience, I will make sure that they understand the purpose as a Toastmaster. Your purpose is not to come and correct yourselves. Oh, that's a very selfish thought if you thought that. It's not about, oh, I have some time. Let me fix my English. Let me fix my confidence. No. Yeah, if that's the case, you're in the wrong place. You're here for a higher purpose. You're here to learn to talk to hearts so that you can actually talk to hearts. And each one of you, if you can reach 10 people with the right message, it could be anything. You can inspire 10 kids to do the right thing. You are still a true Toastmaster. You can be a lady who stands up for the right thing in a place where everybody is not standing up for the right thing. And that's a true Toastmaster. Because a lot of us in Toastmasters, we think, oh, Toastmasters is all about, fancy talking, and we've got to avoid the taboo subjects and etc. But the problem is the problem with today's world is that all of the problems are because of the taboo subjects. It's all to do with religion, politics, and sexual abuse, etc. The problem is because we think it's wrong to talk and nobody talks about it, that the problems keep appearing. And as Toastmasters, I suggest that you break that barrier. If there is a topic that needs attention, summon all your strength to talk about it. Respect each and every person's opinion. Get people to talk about subjects that bother them, about mental health. And the other day I was talking to one of your Toastmasters and I was saying, imagine this scene where you have a small, like, I don't know how big your houses are, but in Sri Lanka, our houses are very small, it's not huge. So imagine you have a husband, you have 2 kids, let's say, minimum 2 kids, right? And yourself inside the house. And this is 24/7 lockdown, right? Imagine. So one corner, you have the grade 3 lessons going on, and in one corner, you have the grade 10 lessons going on. And in the other corner, you have your husband's office going on. And in the other corner, you have your pressure cooker going off, right? And now each one of these corners are trying to make themselves clearer to the other party by shouting. The grade 3 teacher can hear the grade 10 teacher. So she's trying to be loud. And she's saying, you need to speak up, right? And she's shouting. And then the grade 10 teacher is in competition with the grade 3 teacher. She's like, Anil, please switch off your mic because your brother's class is disturbing this class, right? And then your father is trying to actually crack a deal, with his business people. And he's like, guys, can you keep it down? It's really embarrassing. Like, I can't talk like for 10 minutes. So this guy is going in circles in the garden, trying to actually bring in business to an organization, while your mother is being summoned into the grade 3 class and the 10 class because the children are not responding. And the pressure cooker is going off on the other side. And also the garbage collector is at your doorstep trying to collect your garbage. And also the mailman is like, ma'am, can we have this fixed, that fixed, the plumber, the pizza delivery guy, anyone. I mean, come on, like, think about this situation. I feel sorry for us. I feel sorry for every one of us, not just the ladies. I mean, we take the brunt of it because the kids are going to come running. Mommy, see, Aya's like, Anna's class is loud and my class is not. And, like, he is having fancy stickers on his Zoom class. I don't have stickers. Teacher is not giving me this. Teacher is not giving me that. Internet connection is low. Ma, what can we do? Can we pay the bill? Where is Netflix? There are so many questions that a lady has to answer inside this house. And a lockdown is not easy. So when people tell me that, oh, it's simple. A Toastmaster physical meeting has changed to virtual. I'm like, how do you do that? It's not the same. It's not the same because the lady who is at home is miserable than the Toastmaster you meet at a physical meeting, because that lady has got to switch on the video whenever you demand her to, which means she's got to comb her hair and wash her face, change her clothes, which is an additional 20 minutes, guys. And this lady is trying to put her children to sleep, or she's trying to make food, and she's also trying to, manage your goals. What is it called? Triple Crown. She's trying to write a speech. What speech will inspire her? Tell me. About the garbage collector? Of course. you know, it's the garbage collector, it's the husband's office call. These are the ones that will inspire her. I kid you not, ask your audience, ask your Toastmasters to tell what it's like to live in a lockdown period and also be a Toastmaster. I'm pretty sure you'll get amazing scripts. You will get amazing scripts. You know, this is not even a script that I thought about. This is just a situation that I imagined in my mind. And I kid you not, life is not easy. So as Toastmasters, when you're shifting from a physical meeting to a virtual meeting, there's so much that you've got to consider. Because Toastmasters is never about shoving the entire plan into one member. You know, this is how we do it. I don't care how you get it done. You've got to bring one speech, 3 topics, and a camel and a horse to the meeting. That's not how we do it, right? It's impossible, guys. So be accommodative, you know, crack a joke, bring in a couple of games, break the entire you know, monotony of Toastmaster meetings. You know, nobody likes round robin. I mean, 20 seconds, by the time you click the button from mute to video to try to craft one line, 20 seconds is gone. But you go into a physical meeting, it's just about starting to talk, you know, that's so simple. There are so many structures in this Toastmaster meeting that was ideal for a physical meeting, but it's not for a virtual meeting. So I suggest you talk about topics that actually bug people about, you know, talk about mental health. You know, how are people managing all of this during these periods of lockdown, and you know, where they don't have places to go, there's no travel, you know, and some of them have lost jobs, some of them are trying to make a living in a very difficult sense. So as Toastmasters, I know it's not your duty, you know, you don't have to worry about each and every one of your members' lives. You don't have to, it's not your job. But what if you did bother about them? Will it make a difference in your club? You know, what if you ask them, you know, Tina, what is your life like on a daily, you know, routine? What is it like? Do you have a younger brother, an older brother who has an annoying toy that he takes around the house 24/7? And, you know, maybe you can ask Natasha, what is it like to have, you know, like a sister who steals your clothes all the time, you know? And you know, you've got to see your family 24/7, and that's not an easy task, especially when you've gotten used to 8 hours of working. And looking at them 8 hours during the most active hours of the day annoys you. You wonder, like, God, like, why are these people part of my family? Like, who picked this? Who put this combination together? So talk to your people. Ask them what bothers them. Ask them why they would want to come for a Toastmaster meeting. Do they want to have a chit chat of like 10 minutes? Accommodate it. Do they want to have a storytelling session? Have it. Do they have a big topic that might change the world, the way we look at the world? Let them talk. Because a physical meeting structure can never be accommodated into a virtual platform. It has to change. So that's what I felt that needs to be said, and especially to a forum where Showstopper Toastmasters is all about the powerful ladies. And I believe that you guys have the power to see mosquitoes. Tina has mosquitoes in the house. She's like that. So these are problems, yeah. I kid you not. Now, like if it was a physical meeting, would you have a mosquito or would you even clap? You won't. That's what I'm saying, you know, that was such a timely gesture, Tina. Thanks for that. You actually put everything into perspective.
I think mosquito is also a Toastmaster. It's encouraging me to give an applause.
So that's what I'm saying, you know, you all are powerful ladies, and don't ever think that Toastmasters is just about, you know, you learning or you spending time or you effectively managing your time. It's not. Each and every one of you have been called to do something great. So find your purpose. Is it about, talking to kids? Is it about talking to youngsters? Is it about talking to women your age? Or is it about talking to elderly people? Just go seek people that want to hear words of encouragement. Go talk to them and use that experience to come share experiences with your other Toastmasters. And definitely you can change the way you look at Toastmasters overall. And that's about it. I'm sorry, I don't have like a structured speech for you. I just have words coming from my heart and mind that I can share with you. And I hope I've done justice. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Toastmaster Kaishika.
Thank you, Madam President.
The platform is open for each and everyone. You can interact with Toastmaster Kaishika. She's here for us to
Of course.
answer your questions. Please
Come,
feel
shoot
free to ask
questions.
questions. Yes.
How many of your husbands cook?
Then, I mean, once or twice we try and then we are told don't enter the kitchen.
Oh, that is because you're wasting all the material. What is it? Ingredients.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Even the taste. We never seem to get it right.
Ah. See, I'm lucky in that way. I
that's
don't know to cook. I
correction
hate cooking and my husband cooks very well.
Wow.
Okay. So let me ask my question.
Yes.
We started off, and pretty much we started off talking about having fun at the Toastmaster, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I have also been doing for the last 5 years, having fun at any of the Toastmaster contests or otherwise the meetings and any roles that I've played. And then you went into purpose, that you almost made a statement that I'll not go on stage without a purpose or without an objective. So has the fun disappeared?
Has the
fun disappeared? Or has
No, absolutely not. Like even if you look at my speech today, I started off fun, no, but I ended with purpose. That's what I want every Toastmaster to do. The reason why you attend a Toastmaster meeting is because of the fun. But having fun doesn't mean all serious and boring and, jargon and, all of that. No, not at all. Purpose can be fun too. That's what I'm saying. And that's the beauty of communication. You can say something really impactful, but you can, with a little bit of humor. That's what I'm saying. The fun should never disappear. The moment fun disappears, I tell you by experience, and that's not so much, but it's very impactful. The moment fun disappears, you're losing it. You're just losing your members, you're losing your people, you're losing yourself. Trust me. It's only the fun that keeps it going. Thanks, Hemant, for that question.
Okay, one
Shweta? Ram, tell me.
Okay, can you share us little tidbits on how you prepare for a speech? Like how do you do the research? How do you do the scripting? Where do you get the key elements from? Of course, you speak from heart, but you still need to have those tidbits to which make up that substance, right? So can throw us a little bit about your research process.
Okay, so point is I don't really write my speech. Like I said, I go from one structure to the other. Sudarshan is like, woohoo.
I've never written a speech till date.
Yeah, don't write it. I kid you not. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Don't write a speech. No, but I'm just kidding. Like Madam President's like, what is she talking about? You have to write your speech. But in a sense that, let me put it this way. A speech, a lot of people say, bring a speech today, bring a speech tomorrow, bring a speech in a week. You can't do that. At least I can't do that. A speech is something that you actually give birth to, right? So there is a process to it. You can't really, you can't get pregnant and give birth in like 2 days. I mean, like, it's not Maggie, right? So speeches are also like that. You can't really bring that. I mean, you can, but not a very impactful one. Like if you ask me to do a speech tomorrow, I will do something. Yeah, at least I'll do something like this. But if you give me some time and say, ready when you are, now that's the time that I will need. I will do my research in terms of, I will listen to other speeches, of course. I'm not saying that I'm all original. It's very difficult to be an original speaker, or like a 100% original speaker. You will have inspiration, but nobody will know that you took inspiration from this speech. That only you will know that. That's why I'm saying you have to be always humble about your sources, because it's never 100% your speech. You have researched, you've gotten inspired. A lot of people's sentences and experiences have added to it. So it's not technically your speech. It's a culmination of a lot of people's speeches, a lot of people's experiences or statements or stories, etc. So when it comes to research to your speech, the best thing that you can do is first find that one thing that you must communicate with your audience. First, put your audience as your key, target audience that you need to cater to. Let's say it's kids between ages 12 and 16. Now that changes your perspective of topics. Tina, you have a very cute sister.
Daughter, my eldest. Thank you, but for the compliment. I will take that, the pinch of salt.
So cute, so cute.
Thank you.
But so like I said, it's about, when you say speech, you initially thought it was a very complicated topic, right? But when I said 13 to 16 or 11 to 16, you went, oh shit, now I've got to think to their level. So that's what you've got to do every single time you write a speech. You've got to think for your audience. What is the one thing that might interest them? Or what is the one thing that you want to share with them? What is the one thing that you want to inspire them with, or inform them with, or entertain them with? Those are the things that will add up to your speech, and based on which you will have a plethora of topics and suggestions in your mind. Write them all down if you forget them, right? And see which one actually has more weightage to it, and which one can actually have a little bit of examples or stories from your own life, because that's what makes it authentic, and that's what will make people want to listen to. If you tell me time is precious, of course time is precious. You don't have to tell me that. I know that. But why is time precious to you? And why do you say that? Why are you saying that now to me? That's what I want to know about. I don't want to know time is precious. Of course I know that, because that's what I've been told like from day one. And if you are saying it, why are you saying it? And what is the particular story that you have? So when you say research, it's not really research about stories. It's research about how to craft your sentences better. How do you write one sentence that can paint a picture? That is the kind of research you need to do. But in terms of stories, they need to come from within. Now, that's not something that you can research, and like you can't put like Barack Obama's life story with Hillary Clinton's ending. No, that won't work. That's not how it works. It has to be Ram Prasad's story. What is Ram Prasad saying? Why is Ram Prasad saying that time is important? That is what I want to know. And that eventually will craft a beautiful story that will give out a message at the end. And that is more than enough. If you want to use an idiom, you can. If you want to use a movie title, you can. But it has to be authentic. It has to be authentic to your story.
Follow-up question on this. Like, what if you don't have enough stories from your own side to back up the points you want to carry?
Who said?
We will have enough?
Of course. You just have to learn the art of uncovering stories. Every single person's story has beautiful angles to it. So let me give you an example. if you look at the hare and the tortoise, everybody knows the story where the tortoise went slow and steady and all of that, right? If you look at that story, I can give you at least 10 different renditions of it. I'll tell you how, right? What if the rabbit thought that, the tortoise always gets late and he never gets appreciation? You know what? I'm going to let him win. That's a different perspective to the same story, right? What, because we've been told one way to look at it, but that doesn't mean that's the only lesson that you have from that. And um, uh, what if the tortoise actually wanted the hare to win, because he knew that, wherever talent lies, it must be given the due place and the due recognition. What if he purposely made himself slow? That's a different way of looking at it. So likewise, every single story in your life will have a very different and unique perspective. It's all about uncovering that perspective and understanding how it fits into your story.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I see Toastmaster Reina wants to speak. I see her hand up.
Hi,
Toastmaster
Reina. Reina Khalid.
I'm sorry, it was due to mistake. I'm sorry about that.
Oh.
Okay. Anybody else who would like to ask a question?
Yeah, I would like to go. Kashika,
Yes,
first of all, thank you very much. You, as usual, spoke from your heart. I remember your speech on stage, which was pretty much coming from your heart, and that's something that I really like. What you've said has set the cat among pigeons amongst all the wizened Toastmasters who would say on stage you got to act. And I strongly believe against it. I believe your words will do the trick if your words have power behind what you're trying to say. Now the question I want to ask you is, you talked about something which I'm passionate about, which is slice of life speeches. If you're bringing slice of life speeches, the tendency is to ramble on. The tendency is to embellish the facts as much as you can to appear either deeply distressed or triumphant beyond riches, etc., etc. So, how do you stop yourself from doing that?
So it's about realizing what your audience is interested about, right? Every time you have a story, if you were to tell the story to different people, like if you were supposed to tell one of your stories from office to your mom, you will use a set of words and set of connections in order to connect that story with your mom, right? So maybe your mom knows one girl in office, right? But this story is not about that girl. It's about that girl's father, right? So you will immediately say, Ma, you know Asha, no? Asha's father, he is met with an accident, right? Now, suppose your mom doesn't know Asha, doesn't know anybody, but knows only, let's say, Jane from your office, right? You will say, Ma, one of my friends, my office colleague's dad met with an accident, right? You could have said that, Jane, no, but it's not Jane's friend. That's unnecessary, right? So likewise, when you relate a story to your audience, there are certain details that they don't really need to know, or even if they knew, it wouldn't make a difference. You separate them from your story and make it as generic as possible. So basically, you take the skeleton of your stone and add enough flesh to it so that it's presentable, right? And the rest of the emotions, the rest of the opinions, the rest of the expressions that you might have about this story is anyway gone because you added flesh to a skeleton, right? But if you take a whole turkey and present it in front of your audience, they're just going to be exhausted with the amount of detail that you're trying to put forward, right? And it's also very important, especially if you are an introductory speaker or even an experienced speaker, it's really important to come off as a humble personality, which means even if your story makes you feel like Superman, right? Even if you have achieved, like, let's say you've gotten a Guinness record, right? And you want to say a story about that, right? It's important that you strike a balance of humility and humbleness, and then say that you've achieved this little thing in your life. And it is a big deal to you, but it is not a big deal to your audience, right? So the more humble you are, the bigger the achievement feels to the audience, right? So, uh, it's similar to my achievement in Washington D.C., right? For me, if I want, I can say, so I won this speech contest. I was one of the top 10 speakers. You see how my attitude changed, and that's such a turn off. The moment you have that attitude, the moment you add the amount of detail and how much of a big deal it is, it's a quick turn off. But if you say, I was selected as one of the top 10 speakers in the world, for me, this is a huge achievement. For my mom, it's a bigger achievement. It's your body language that actually makes you humble. So it's very important that you make note of how you are reacting when you are storytelling.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darshan.
Anybody else? Okay, I wanted to ask a question. The virtual meeting and motivation are pure antonyms. What would your advice be on this? How can we keep our members motivated?
So like I said, the thing about virtual meetings is that one thing we've got to understand is that it's not the physical meeting, right? And the whole saga behind a physical meeting is you allocate your day accordingly. You've allocated time for traveling, you've allocated time for dressing up, you've prepared yourself, and then you reach this destination, you meet a couple of people, you talk to them, there's actual food and drinks available, right? And you can bring a cake or two, depending on whose birthday it is. And there's a lot of physical engagement in a physical meeting. But in a virtual meeting, it's all about the brain and the mind. So just like you've physically prepare yourself to a meeting, you've got to mentally prepare yourself to a virtual meeting, right? Which means it has to be quick and crisp. It can't be meetings that go on for hours. Like I know physical meetings that went up to 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, because it was interesting. But virtual meetings, that's not the case. The moment you switch off your video, you're not interested anymore. Your kid is on your lap, or your cat is, in the middle of the house or on the couch, and your neighbors are trying to, contact you and say, your pipe has broken. There are lots of problems. It's not like a physical meeting where, like the sergeant at arms is at the door, and, he makes sure that, nothing comes in or goes out during the meeting. Virtual meetings are not like that. Everything comes and goes during the meeting only. Especially when you have told your husband and your kids, do not disturb me. That is the exact hour that they say, Ma, where's the soap? Ma, where's the pencil box? Ma, can you bring my towel? Embarrassing. Can't even unmute. That's why half of your members don't unmute and put on the video, because their husbands are going shirtless at the background. Their children are running behind the cat. How do you even manage? So my suggestion is, make it as interesting as possible to your audience. You don't have a big audience, I presume. It's maybe it's about 20 people, 20 or 40 maximum. Have a chat, talk to them, ask them what will interest them. Is it a game? Do you want a break? Do you not like talking? Don't you want Toastmaster speeches? It's okay, let them be. Because you don't want to force a speech out of someone who's not ready. a speech needs to come from within, and it takes time. And that's something that Toastmasters needs to come to terms with. You know, it's not like in Sri Lanka we say apa puchana, which means making hoppers. You know how long it takes to make a hopper? Maybe maximum 20 seconds. Yeah. So it's Toastmaster speeches are not like that. It takes time. So let them have their space, and not everyone is in the same speed as the others. You know, some people are eloquent, therefore they will take up the responsibility and make speeches, but some people are not. So let them have that piece. And I am dead against this entire structure of forcing Toastmasters to open up clubs and do speeches to get some points and go up the leaderboard and get some trophies. For what? We have enough leaderboards here. Even if you go to the Sephora store, there's a leaderboard there on who is beautiful and who is not. If you go on Facebook, who is married, who is not, who is having a child, who is not. Everywhere we have leaderboards. Toastmasters doesn't have to be one of those leaderboards. You know, even if you go to school, who is the first in the class? Who cares? We're here for fun. We're here for a purpose. Let's remember that and accommodate the speed of every single Toastmaster equivalently. And let's manage them responsibly. And I think it has to be a fun place. You need to have people, basically what you need to do is, if somebody came in today to your meeting, they should initiate and make it a point to come the next week. And what you do to get that attendance is up to the exco. It's like a series, nobody watches one episode and just stops, right? You want to know what goes on to the next episode. So it's simple. Create a series, create a story, get people coming back for more. And what do you need to do for that? You've got to crack your brains.
I get that. Okay, anybody else? I had 2 questions from my members here. I'll just read it out to you.
Sure.
How do you think Toastmaster would benefit a homemaker?
I'm trying to think how not. So the question is, so let me not go far for an experience. My mom, right? She is a person who doesn't have, many. She's not one of those social elite club members. Clearly, she used to think that clubs are all about do's and don'ts. So my mom used to be one of those very conservative, reserved type. Her life was always revolved around me, my brother, and my dad. Right. So her life was very limited. She didn't have much of an outward connection. She wasn't so updated. So it was my task and my brother's task to always keep her updated, right? It was our task to tell her what's new out there. It was our task to tell her how things have changed for the better or for the worse. So being a homemaker is really important because the most current topics can be discussed in a Toastmaster forum. And that will benefit you in a forum where you've got to speak or you've got to share your opinion. And it will also help you understand how other people think. So for my mom, basically, she has this problem where if she thinks this is the way she perceives a problem, that is the way, that is the only way. And there's nothing beyond that, right? But it is me and my brother who gives her perspective in life. We should tell her, no, mama, what if this happens? Like, what if this happens? Why can't we go around it this way? So that entire discussion is what makes her think more. So as a homemaker, you cannot be that, what do they call, a frog in a well? You cannot be a frog in a well, right? You've got to be a person who knows about the outside world, because at the end of the day, each one of you has a younger generation inside your house, right? And the world out there is not easy, right? um, I was deeply disturbed by a news that was published a few days ago of a 15-year-old who was sexually abused by very uh, uh, some of them were religiously involved, some of them were politically involved, and some of them were, I don't know, big shots. And this kid was just 15, right? Whether or not her or her parents knew is a question that we need to answer. And I'm telling you, as a Toastmaster, you will need the kind of experience in a Toastmaster fraternity for the betterment of your family. So, that's why I say taboo topics cannot be taboo topics anymore, because you have a community that is deteriorating by day, by minute. And these conversations need to be made in order to secure the younger generation, the children whom we are so protective and loving about. So as a homemaker, you have the biggest reason of why you should be a Toastmaster. And the moment, and trust me, the moment your children start talking back to you, you being a Toastmaster will be very helpful, because you'll be able to give constructive criticism, and you will know how to respond to them. You will know how to structure your comments or your suggestions. And
Yeah,
you,
I have
I
to say
can,
that.
yes.
I have to second that. I mean, you just will get the right kind of answer, because children today are very intriguing. They just can't compromise for a lame answer. And if you've been evaluating for a long time, I think you nailed it. Trust me, with teenagers, especially. Thank you. Yeah, you can continue. Sorry for the interruption.
No, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true, Anita. So, I mean, I can sit down and list I can put down a list for you as to why a homemaker must be a Toastmaster. And sure, so there's all the more reason as to why one should be a Toastmaster.
Yes, I second that thought too. Every mom should be a Toastmaster for all the reasons you mentioned.
Yes.
Toastmaster Sri Devi, would you like to ask? You have raised your hand. Yes, please.
Yes, I wanted to ask Ashika,
Right.
what do you think would be the impact of online meetings on the public speaking skills of newly joined members? Because some of them have not attended the physical meeting at all.
So that's that's a bigger question. That's a bigger problem, actually. A lot of people say, Toastmasters is all about public speaking, but all we're doing is private meetings. I actually feel that public speaking to its fullest potential is achieved when you actually speak in public, which means you have a bigger audience, you have a live audience, you have live responses. Not everyone is. So I'm also a stand-up comedian, right? So the moment I realized that the audience of Toastmasters is a lot more different than the real audience, is that some people actually don't laugh at your jokes, right? And at that moment, you've got to think on your feet. You've got to reorder your joke. You've got to bring in the punchline earlier. And all of that thinking on the foot, it goes away with online meetings. You technically don't think on your feet. You don't even stand. You're just seated, like all of us are seated. And in public speaking, we don't sit and talk. We stand up and talk. So when it comes to postures, to deliveries, to thinking, to quick thinking, to the language, to expressions, to accepting expressions from your audience, all of that is very different from virtual to physical. How I look at virtual meetings is that it's a little bridge that's helping us keep track of the subject and the structure, but it can never be a replacement for physical meetings. Because the objectives of a physical meeting still remains, and that cannot be replaced by a virtual meeting. Maybe we can have a different category that says virtual public speaker, where the structure and the qualifications and the experiences are completely virtual. And that way, yes, that will make more sense. But a physical public speaker, as in a public speaker who's been in a live audience, cannot be compared to a one who has been through just virtual meetings. And I believe it's your duty as Toastmasters who've been in physical meetings to gradually and very carefully guide these new Toastmasters who've only been in virtual meetings. It can be slightly traumatizing if you actually ask them to take that switch immediately. So you've got to be very careful, give them the time to adopt, and do not, go to correct all 10 things in the same day. That's very ugly. Don't do that. People will just run away. They won't come back. Just take it one step at a time and tell them, okay, today you might want to improve this, and the other day another one. And that's a gradual, introduction to the physical Toastmaster meetings and physical public speaking.
Thank you, Keshika.
Thanks, Sridevi. Amita, you're on mute.
Yeah. I think everyone is satisfied with all the answers they have, and that was really an awesome and insightful session. You know what? I can also have one confession. I would have been actually very nervous otherwise while addressing such a big lot. But after having spoken to Toastmaster Kaishika the other day, my fears and anxiety had all vanished by themselves. She made me believe that it is just okay to be not so perfect. It is just okay to make mistakes, and it is okay to be not so formal always. Thank you, Toastmaster Kaishika. I'm sure each one of us sitting here must be having their thinking caps on and introspecting that and how to shed off their inhibitions and how to do self-help first of all, and then in order to help the people around you. All right, now there was lots of food for thought. Let us have some fun treat with Toastmaster Chetna now. Stay put, everyone. I'm sure you all will be entertained even by this trivia which Toastmaster Chetna is going to put up for you all. Toastmaster Chetna.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Amita. That was so good, Kaishika. It was so wonderful. I mean, I was a little hesitant doing the activity, but I'm like, okay, just cool now, calm, and okay, going to start.
Great.
It was, I think every one of us at some point in time related with what all things you just said. We all were nodding the heads that yes, we felt it. So thank you so much for that connection. Let me quickly wriggle on. Is it get wriggle on? Is that right, Tina? Before our Madam President shows me the red card. So we are going to have a fun game, okay, which is Never Have I Ever. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard of it, but I will quickly tell the rules for the benefit of everyone. I will start a statement with never have I ever and say a statement. If your answer is positive, you stay put, you are in the game. If your answer is negative, we will count it as a 1 negative mark. So basically, I would be giving 3 chances to everyone. For that, I would want all of you to please, first of all, switch on your cameras for the game. Can I have all the videos on, please? Okay, others are still not on. Should we wait for the videos to turn on?
Maybe they're from their offices, you know, workplace.
Okay.
Okay, we do have VP Salim.
Kaishika, can we have your video on? Is it, if you're okay? Okay, so I'm going to start never have I ever understatement. For that, to begin with, we all will have both our hands up like this. Okay, and I would say a statement like never have I ever cheated in examinations. If you have cheated and if your answer is negative, you will put one hand down. Okay, and the game would move on. On the second chance, you will put your second hand down, and in the third go, you have to put your video off. So we know who all are still in the game and who are not. Is it okay? Is it clear to everyone? Should I begin? Great. Okay. So I would start with first statement. Never have I ever lost my documents. If you have lost your documents, you have to put one hand down. Or you have not. Wow, so many responsible ones are here. Okay. Next is, never have I ever stalked someone on social media. Wow. Okay.
Could you repeat that question? Never,
Sorry?
could you repeat that second question?
Never have I ever stalked someone on social media. Stalking.
Okay.
Okay. Never have I ever broken a bone. No fractures. Okay. Never have I ever traveled solo. Wow, who travels solo? Wow, it's still in my bucket list. Never have I ever had a bounce check. Wow, so many responsible Toastmasters are here. They're not. Never have I ever donated blood.
Oh,
I see so many people put the hands down. Okay, it's slowly moving towards. Okay. Never have I ever returned something from online shopping after using it.
really?
Never have I ever returned something after using it. Okay. Oh, okay. Our Madam President is already gone out of the game. Never have I ever helped someone to cross the road. Okay. Never have I ever got overdressed to impress others. Okay, so you overdress yourself to impress others, whoever have put their hands down. Okay, next we have, never have I ever marched in a protest. No. Okay, next is something maybe a lot many of us must have done in the lockdown last year. Never have I ever cut my own hair. A lot of people did their own haircuts last year, I believe. Especially the male folks would agree. Okay. Next is, never have I ever switched off camera intentionally because I did not want to face table topics. Okay.
I think we have somebody, I mean, everyone else is done with it because I don't see any hands.
No, but their videos are still on.
Oh.
Tina's hand is on. I think Toastmaster Asha, your hand was also up. And the video's on, that means they are still in the game. Right? So we have 5 members. Okay. Never have I ever bought big size clothes for my kids so that they last longer. All the mothers have done that. We have to, yes, agree. I didn't expect it to run so fast. I thought we will last a little longer. Okay, this is next. Never have I ever snooped through my husband's or wife's phone. No? Wow. Okay.
In Dubai, you will actually get fined for it. So don't attempt it if you're in
So
Dubai.
many places, other than maybe a lot many places in the world. Only exemption is in India. Okay. Never have I ever got on the wrong train or bus. Ah, okay. Toastmaster Asha is gone. Tina, you're very responsible, it seems, and Toastmaster Charmin as well, and Toastmaster Vijaya. Great. Let's see how we have we have the wrong next one. Never have I ever went 24 hours without showering. Without shower. Okay. Okay. Never have I ever gotten a speeding ticket. Okay, tough fight between these three ladies. Never have I ever got stranded something while travel. Okay, so Toastmaster Charmin and Toastmaster Vijaya. Never have I ever bunked school.
Bunked school?
No, no bunking. Never have I ever gone through ragging in college.
No.
Never have I ever ran a marathon. Okay, next one, I think we are going to have one. Never have I ever lied about my age. Please do not lie, ladies.
No.
No, you always say the right?
Absolutely. Proud of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I have mentioned it in Toastmasters also.
Sorry?
I have mentioned it in Toastmasters meeting also.
Okay. Never have I ever did my kids' homework or project.
Maybe helped in the project. Yeah. So I'll go out.
I help
Okay,
too.
okay.
Helping is different than doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you have done part of it, but you have done it.
Then in that case, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, so we have Toastmaster Charmin and Toastmaster Vijaya both, in fact. So we already have got the winners. Should we go for what does the time say, Toastmaster Amita?
Yeah, I think we can wind it up as we have already got the winners.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So that is
Thank you,
Toastmaster
Toastmaster.
Charmin and Toastmaster Vijaya.
Yeah, a big clap to all of them. Always sportive
Thank
enough
you.
to participate. Thank you.
Thank you for the participation, everyone.
Good game.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetna. It was really a good game, interesting one. And you have got out so many secrets without it being spoken out in words. Great. May I call upon Toastmaster Kaishika to accept a virtual token of appreciation from the Showstoppers Toastmasters? I'll just share the screen.
Oh, so cute.
Thank you very, very much, Toastmaster Kaishika.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Send it across to me. I like to
Yes,
have it. I showed
sure,
my
I
mom
will.
also.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
I would also request Toastmaster Chetna to accept this little token of appreciation from the Showstoppers Toastmaster. I'll share the screen. Just a second. Thank you, Toastmaster Chetna. She's from the other club, Toastmaster, sorry, the Rendezvous Toastmaster Club. It is our sister club. And she readily agreed to take up this role. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chetna.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amita. This is beautiful. Thank you.
So I guess, are there any people present here? And may I call upon a few of them to just speak a few words about this meeting? It could be Toastmaster Charmaine. Are you around? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Lovely meeting. I really enjoyed being part of the Showstoppers meeting today, and finally actually got logging into after many requests, and happy to hear Kanishka with all her tips and her motivational talks to all of us. It was really amazing to hear her once again, and it's always a pleasure to hear her. Thank you. And yeah, you ladies are a lovely bunch with a lot of smiles and yes, less mosquitoes. Where you can all clap. It's sad about the virtual meetings. Yes, we all miss the physical meetings, and hopefully soon we should be having physical meetings. In fact, hybrid meetings are happening now, and you all should try and kind of have one of those and see how it works out. On another note, happy to inform all of you that I am I'm going to be chasing Asha, who's your area director, as I have been assigned the assistant division director for club growth. And so there you go. You will always hear me knocking on your doors and asking you to retain your members and help your membership grow. And together with your support, I'm sure we will do well, and let our division I fly high as always. And yeah, I can see Asha saying that, oh, business even now. Yes, my dear, this was a great opportunity, and thank you so much. And yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Charmaine.
Yeah. All the best to Showstoppers 40th meeting, and I'm sure you girls are going to go way ahead.
Thank
for
you.
Another more meetings, 50, 100. Yes. Big thumbs up to you all. Great.
Thank
all the
you.
best.
Thank you.
More
We
welcome.
have Brandon Sonsi, I see here. Would you mind speaking a few words about this meeting? Brandon? Okay.
Hello.
Maybe yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm Brandon from Togo, Lumen Toastmaster Club of Lomé. I wrote today or yesterday in your division Facebook page, and people gave me your link. So I joined you people today, and I am really, really excited of taking part of this meeting. It was maybe it's my first meeting with a Dubai club or in UAE club. I'm very, very glad to be part of you today, and I would like to come back again, maybe become one of your members, because I'm currently in Dubai. That's why I wanted to attend to a meeting in Dubai. So thank you very much for accepting me among a few people here.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. There is a form laid out in the chat box. You could leave your contact details in that and we will get back to you. Can I call Vindhya?
Yeah, I've already did it.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Brandon, you were saying something?
It's already put in, he said.
All right. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Can I call Vindhya Suvarna?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. I think this meeting was pretty interesting, and especially the speech by Toastmaster Kaishika. It was very intriguing. And this is actually pretty new for me. I didn't know about Toastmasters. My teacher told me about it, and no one I know has been to Toastmasters. So it's all very new. And it's pretty interesting to know that that I haven't known about this at all. And yeah.
Yeah, good to have you. And you could leave your contact details in the sheet provided there in the chat box. We can contact you and invite you whenever we have such interesting meetings or events. Please feel free to join. You're always welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Can I call upon Area Director Asha to say a few words?
And she just left. Is it? Okay, she's here.
Yeah, I was actually saying bye to everyone to so that I can
good. I caught you on the right foot.
leave. So let me just say what I was actually telling your club mentor, I would say, or the longtime mentor of many of the clubs and many of the members, that is Toastmaster Anita, that this is perhaps after a long time that I'm actually sitting in a meeting where my attention didn't wander even a little bit anywhere, right? It was beautiful. And Toastmaster Kaishika, one thing I want to tell, I don't know whether you remember it, but 3 years or I don't know, 4 years, 2 years to 3 years back, I believe you were here in a physical. I think you had come in with Mark Brown, etc.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, you had come in, and my son was with me. Now he is the more popular person. He's a person who talks a lot, big personality, shining. That's the sort of person he is, and I'm the quiet one. But that day, and there were these big people there, right? Mark Brown. Who else was there, Kaishika? Someone else also was there.
Yeah. Sabine Hector.
The guy from Hong Kong.
Yeah, Katani is
Darante.
there. Katani also was there.
Yeah. The guy from Hong Kong was there.
Yes, they were there. Yet, and you know what my son Steve, what he did? Most of you know it, so that's why I'm telling his name. Kaishika has also met him. She has met me as well, but I'm sure she doesn't remember because she was meeting a lot of people at that time. Everyone saying hi, bye, and all that stuff. And he stood behind me and he said, "Mommy, go speak." You know, he's like pushing me. Go speak to her. Go speak to her. So that he can actually go and speak to Kaishika. So he was like so enthralled by her, you know, like he wants to. Kaishika, I just want to say that you are just as sweet and beautiful and humble as ever. And there were a lot of people who told me personally, and veteran Toastmasters as well, who actually said that they liked your speech. I mean, it was kind of like a delivery, right? They liked you more than the others. And I think that is exactly what you said. it's not because it was prepared, and I'm sure there was some sort of mental preparation, but when you say it, go with the flow. And the other bit of message that you gave everyone, when you're in a real audience, you have to assess the the audience as well, and sometimes change the words, etc., so that keeps them engaged and interesting. And Kaishika, you are a pro at it, and I can tell you, not just physical meetings. As I said, I was glued, and not just to Kaishika, guys, all of you, right from the beginning, with the moment when I joined in, the Sergeant at Arms was doing the call to order. Soon after that, the President and Jen. I was listening to each and every one of you, and really speak from the heart, but I can tell you from what all you said, it has actually touched my heart. So just love you all. Great meeting. Wonderful. Keep it up. And I feel more people or more clubs or members should come and actually sit here and watch you all so that they can learn from you as well. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Area Director Asha. That was really touching. Can I call the guest, Vijaya Jayaraman, to speak a few words?
Thank you very much. This was an amazing, exhilarating, enriching meeting. Excellent. I've been looking for Kaishika because I saw a Canva program in Facebook, but I couldn't get the link. So I was trying to get her somehow. I want to listen to her. I put her name and Googled it, tried in email, tried in Facebook. Finally, I got this link because I really wanted to attend her speech. It started
That
with
is
Canva.
so kind of you, Ms. Vijaya.
And I have so many things that I have take home today. And in fact, I wrote down some of the points that I would like to share. One was the rainbow. That is, another member had mentioned it. And then Toastmaster incubates you. Wonderful phrase. Next one was the taboo topic needs to be discussed. Yes, definitely. And especially in South Asian environment, it must be discussed on a regular basis. And every parent, mother should know about it. Very, very, very valid point. There is no restriction. There should not be any restriction. That captivated me. And also the same topics, respect other person's view. That also important, very important. Small home situations, I could imagine, visualize. Even in India, one of my friends had just one room with husband, wife, and 3 kids. Just one room. That's the kitchen, that's the bedroom, that's everything. That's all in Bombay. He was my classmate. And today I'm visualizing her in Toastmasters, she or her brother or whoever it is. It just brought me back. That took me back to 45 years. And I think each of you, every member is a Shakti. You have the power, you have the potential, and she revealed it. Anybody from anywhere in the world can do it. Speeches, another term, speeches are born. It has to be impactful, captivated me. Physical structure will never meet the virtual meetings. That is perfectly fine. Excellent statements. And the irony was public speaking to private speaking. Yes. And I think you are a blessing to your mom and blessing to Toastmasters and all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Vijaya.
I would like to keep in touch with you.
Of course, of course, of course. Just send me your Facebook handle or Instagram handle, whatever it is. I will connect with you in.
I just emailed you in chat. You can take a look.
Thank you so much. Sure, will do. I actually must respond to your statement about you acknowledging that taboo topics must be discussed is a huge achievement for me. And I hope you and the rest of the audience understand what that means to me as a Toastmaster, as a younger Toastmaster, to convince and successfully communicate this particular item in my speech, I consider it the biggest achievement, even bigger than achieving a Toastmaster title. And for me, that is the biggest achievement of all
That
times.
is
Thank
actually
you
the
so
pinnacle.
much.
That is the pinnacle, definitely.
Thank you so much.
And I would like to continue with attend this club more often. Please keep in touch with me, because I've been in the US for 30 years, and my experiences both in India and US, I have a lot to share that I can share that can help, because I try to help Indians who are migrating here. So I give them special guidance. So the cultural differences is too big for everyone to handle. So my little knowledge, little experience, I can definitely share with all of you. Thank you.
You're a true Toastmaster.
Yeah.
You have a purpose. You're
Yes.
using your talent to do something a lot more bigger than what we do on a daily basis. Thank you for your service. You are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much.
Last but not least, I don't hide my age. I'm completing 74. I'll be 75.
Wow.
Wow, that's really so impressive. So impressive. So much to learn from you, ma'am. Please leave your ID or contact detail with us. We will surely get in touch with you. We will be honored to have you with us. So much to learn from you. I'm sure we are going to benefit.
Yeah, definitely. We will keep in touch.
Yes, ma'am. Please leave your contact details. Thank you so much. I guess now there is nobody else to ask question here. Do we have anyone? Flammy, I see here. She is one of the showstoppers here. Flammy, would you like to speak a few words? I hope she's around. Yeah. Hi, Flammy. She must be back from her office after a day's long work. Okay. Can I request? Yeah. Yes, Fleming.
My internet not.
Never mind. Never mind. I see you're already tired. It's okay. Take rest. Nice to have you on board, but thank you. Can I call upon Toastmaster Siva to speak a few words?
Hi, Amita. Actually, I came to
Hi.
know about today's speaker because of your Area 64 flyer. And
you.
I was so inspired by looking at that flyer. Today, I too had a lot of internet disconnections, but again, I joined back. I'm still in office, but I was so connected with the way that Keishka explained, especially that we have to speak and connect with our audience, with their hearts. That's the true message I really got from her speech today. Thank you very much once again. And thank you, Amita, for giving us this opportunity today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siva. Toastmaster Ram, would you like to speak?
Yeah, sure. Okay, first of all, great showstoppers. So it was amazing. Yeah. So I mean, I always felt that speaking to make an impact is a much bigger purpose than speaking to impress. And she brought it out so beautifully. And I'm so happy to know about that, because making an impact gives so much more satisfaction than just getting a small award or a win in a day. It was so many takeaways. Like it was, I think, every minute spent today, right from the beginning to the end, has been valuable. So there are so many takeaways, and from everyone who else contributed as well. And thank you, Chetna, for a very innovative game that was also kept us thinking so many different points. We never even thought some of them. Okay. Great job, and I wish you all the best to the Showstoppers. And thanks, Anita, for inviting.
Thank you. Thank you so much, each one of you, to make this evening's a memorable one. And now, as the president of my club, I think I need to call this meeting number 40 close. Thank you all. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Toastmaster Kaishika, for gracing our evening.